Before we make our very special surprise presentation, I just want to speak completely from the heart without a text. I come with a bit of a heavy heart today because about 9 years ago, this guy to my left gave me a book by Peter Lyon called The American Saint Nick. I had a really tough day. I had experienced being General Patton's granddaughter when Tom Hanks didn't show up.
70 years ago this week, I was walking up and down the street as a GI, and these kids all dressed up like American soldiers. It's almost like memories.
Wir giffen haut dem Herr Brookins eng kleng Eiererweisen dëwres Herr Nicolas begräse ich also ganz herzlich fir d'Aweihung an d'Enthüllung vun enger Skulptur, fir de er och den Herr Nuno Mafra e grosse Merci ausdrecken, den als dat Wonnerberg durchgestalt hat. Ladies and gentlemen, representatives of the United States of America, visitors, friends and family of Mr. Brookins, I thank you that you honor us with the visit here in Wiltz today to inaugurate this sculpture in wood. A short moment, 5 years ago, we planted to honor Mr. Brookins an oak, but the oak is too little and too small to sculpt a great sculpture. So we thank Mr. Mafra for the creating of the sculpture, and we are happy and honored to have Mr. Brookins here today with us. He has the strength to come here the long way from America to Luxembourg, to Wiltz, to be with us during this festival of Saint Nick. Thank you. Thank you.
Looks like. I just thank everybody, and I thank the committee for their kindness and their concepts and what you do all the time, keeping this little story alive. And all the guys that worked with me really did all the work. I got to dress up and look like that. He's not a bad-looking guy, come to think of it. Oh my gosh, more Hamers around.
Yes, more.
I feel real honored you guys came. I haven't been in there yet.
It's nice. Oh, a lot of stairs though.
Yeah.
Would you like to sign my book?
Well, I'd be delighted.
These pens now.
Ready?
Und dann kam mit seiner Jeep so reingefahren in das Schloss und dann war er angezogen wie Santa Claus, ne? Wie der heilige Nicolas, und dann die Kinder haben ein wenig Theater gemacht, die haben gesungen.
War es kalt an dem Tag?
Ja, es war auch
wie heute?
kalt.
Wie heute?
Das war im Dezember. Ne?
Ja. Weil wenn man auf die Bilder schaut, die Kinder sind nicht so warm eingekleidet.
Das war ja alles kaputt. Ne? Die Eltern hatten nichts mehr. Porzellan und alles haben die Deutschen
weggetan.
Alles zum Fenster rausgeschmissen.
Oh mein.
Ja, die Möbel, alles. Die Eltern mussten ja von vorne wieder anfangen. Ne? Die hatten gar nichts mehr. Da kann ich mich noch gut erinnern. Als die Befreiung hier in Wiltz war, die haben unten auf dem Fußballcamp ihr Camp gehabt.
I've met 4 ambassadors since I've been here over a range
So you know 'em all,
of
huh?
30-some years.
Yeah.
Well, thanks anyway. It's enough of my pontificating.
well, we pretend like we do diplomacy all the time for our work, but it's people like you that really do. No, that's not good. It's shot at
There's a report of the Saint Nick story with a photo where you sit in the jeep, and if you could just
You want my name?
yes,
We do have ink, don't we?
thank you very much.
You can fend off the...
I said I don't need to. I want to walk around anyway.
He lived with my family here in Wiltz.
Oh, he stayed with you?
Yes. With my grandparents.
The older that we get, the more we look one like the other.
That's not bad though.
No.
It's good.
We have talked. I don't know who she was talking to. All the hatchets are buried. She didn't say you did.
No, I'm saying that was the club. I talked to her about 5 minutes. Okay, we'll try.
The popular Welsh was very strong. In my mother language, afterwards I repeat the important facts in English. Wir sieht man das schon, dass der Saal haut so voll als Fred als besonders beweist as everybody that we shall do our best to give people as much information about Battle of Bulge in Wiltz as possible.
viele Häuser und Straßen waren kaputt. Während des Krieges haben die Deutschen die Luxemburger am 30. August 1942 gezwungen, mit ihnen in den Krieg zu ziehen. Am nächsten Tag haben viele Luxemburger protestiert und sind nicht zur Arbeit gegangen. Sie haben sich zum Streik versammelt und sind durch die Straßen gezogen, um zu demonstrieren.
Kurz darauf wurden 21 Luxemburger, darunter 6 Wiltzer Lehrer und Beamte von den Deutschen ermordet. Diesen Menschen zur Ehre wurde in Wiltz ein Denkmal errichtet. Das heutige Streikdenkmal, ein großer Leuchtturm, der uns an diese mutigen Menschen erinnern soll. Bis heute wird am 31. August eine feierliche Zeremonie an diesem Denkmal gefeiert.
And so the teachers here in Luxembourg, at once we are striking. The schools were open, parents sent their children to the school, but the teachers didn't enter the schools. And so also the leather fabrics, the workers stood outside. Nobody went to work. It's like a huge finger to indicate not to forget. It's not to say bad Germans, bad French or bad Belgium, no. It's only to show what man can do to man and not to forget that.
Während des Krieges hatten die Kinder nicht viel zum Spielen und nicht viel zum Essen. Von Süßigkeiten war gar nicht die Rede. Die Soldaten haben während ihres Aufenthaltes den Kindern eine Freude bereitet.
Im Dezember 1944 haben sie den heiligen Nicolas eingeladen, um den Kindern Süßigkeiten und Spielsachen zu verteilen. Er kam in einem Wagen der amerikanischen Armee nach Wiltz. Seit 1944 bis heute kommt der heilige Nicolas immer Anfang Dezember nach Wiltz und verteilt Süßigkeiten an alle Kinder.
Een große merci de Anna, an den Clara, and Dr. John.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are assembled here today to remember the American GI Richard W. Brookins, who brought back St. Nick to the children of Wiltz 70 years ago. His actions also gave the fellow soldiers of Richard Brookins the opportunity to forget about the chaos of war without knowing that 10 days later the bloodiest battle for these American soldiers would begin.
En effet, c'est une histoire très spéciale qui nous touche et qui constitue un point de lumière dans cette Deuxième Guerre mondiale si horrible.
I am overwhelmed with the reception here, and I'm overwhelmed with the work that's been done in this museum by all these great people. So much they have done and brought forward your heritage, your life, what occurred in your lifetime. 70 years ago today, I was walking the streets of this village as a soldier. Today I'm almost 93 years old. But not really. Today I'm 22 again because I'm with you. Many folks here who have seen many times. We have many friends here, and I feel that this is it's not my first choice, darn near it, I'll tell you that. You folks are very, very kind to me, and to all my friends and relatives that have come and are seeing this for the first time. They've heard about it for 37 years since I came back in '77. Harry Stutz started a great thing that's been going on for these many years, and you people have kept it going even further ever since your town was rebuilt after the Americans bombed it. Kind of incongruous of liberating people and then blowing them up as we leave. Felt bad about having to leave, but we did come back, and I am reminded of all those fellows that helped out on that little Christmas party for some wonderful kids, And I've already met 2 or 3 ladies who said that they would receive candy from me. And I should have asked them to show me the proof and give me the wrappers, but I didn't ask them that. Because they look much younger than I did. So, I don't know, asking me just to say a few words, like asking a bull not to run around a china shop, so I better calm down here a little bit. And you see me in this wounded gear, I'm due for a Purple Heart, I guess. But I'm sorry about that, but what you see is what you get. So thank you all, thank you for a wonderful effort, and thank you for being so thoughtful and kind to all of us poor old Americans. And I see one lady here that just reminds me of the nun that got me dressed as St. Nicolas. I seem to remember her name was Sister Gertrude. It was close to that. And I remember she had tears in her eyes, and I thought she felt sorry for me. And she was very happy. But nowhere near as happy as I am every time I come here, and happy again before I leave. And come to think of it, maybe I won't go. So, thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brookins, for this wonderful tour. And now, Mrs. Alison Lawrence, chargée d'affaires at the American Embassy at Luxembourg, is.
Mr. Brookins, and to all the distinguished guests here today, to all of you here today, thank you for inviting me to the opening of your newly refurbished museum here today, here in Wiltz. Ambassador Mandel sends his regards. He can't be with us today because he's in Florida celebrating Thanksgiving with his family, but I know he would like to be here to see Mr. Brookins and to see all of you. I am truly honored to be back in Wiltz. In fact, this was the first place I came when I first arrived as Chargé d'Affaires just in August. I had been in the country for about 3 or 4 days when I came up to commemorate with you the 72nd anniversary of the strike that the 2 girls told us about earlier. I was made to feel so welcome, my family and I can't thank you for making me feel, again, so welcome today. They continue to remember and they continue to pay tribute to those brave men who came to fight for peace and liberty, some of them paying the ultimate sacrifice. One of those brave men that we have today is Mr. Brookins, the original American St. Nick, who fought with the 28th U.S. Infantry Division and was stationed here in Wiltz, and who is famous well beyond Luxembourg and beyond the United States. The American people, and I'm sure all of the Luxembourgers here today, join me in saying we owe you a huge debt of gratitude for what you and your friends did. I have only been in Luxembourg, as I said, a few short months, but I've attended many World War II commemorations. And I have to say that when I go to these commemorations, people don't talk about the terrible things they saw or the terrible things that happened. And I'm so glad today to see so many children here who will take those memories even further. So I've been thinking about how Europeans remember the war and how they show appreciation to the American military. I've been thinking about the stories they tell. And again, they're not the stories of the bombs or the shootings or the sadness. What they tell me about is they tell me about that friendly GI who gave them their first taste of chocolate.
Thanks very much all the people who helped us to rebuild some kind this new museum.
There are other people here for a gift, to give a gift. De Victor Togat, 2 nachtbereiter die de Brookins geven in categorie.
Let's see.
I'm Helen, and for those of you who don't know, ich bin die Enkelin von General Patton. And before we make our very special surprise presentation, I just want to speak completely from the heart without a text. I come with a bit of a heavy heart today, because about 9 years ago, this guy to my left gave me a book by Peter Lyon called The American Saint Nick. I had a really tough day. I had experienced being General Patton's granddaughter when Tom Hanks didn't show up. And it was just too much. The morning I left, my son, who was too young to go to that cold occasion, came with me. I mean, didn't come with me, and I went to his bedroom before I took the car to Bastogne. And he said, "Mama, tell me again what Grandpa did." And I said, well, and I explained. And he said, "No, he didn't. He said the soldiers did it." And I didn't know that getting that book at the end of the day was going to really kind of bookend that phrase. So, through the last 5 years, I've been thinking a lot about this story, and I had hoped somehow to bring it to film. And I do believe that will still happen, if not by me, by someone. And they're welcome to have all of the thoughts in my head and the material that I've gathered over the last 5 years. I remember driving to a place called Hinzert, and I couldn't find it, but I knew that I had to go there. And just at that moment, I popped on a CD that Robert Bartel had given me from the Do You Remember series, which I'd never heard before because I wasn't here. And as I was pulling it, I kid you not, because I called Richard on the phone from Hinzert, I think it was after Hinzert was closed and it was dark, this is the song that came on. I'll just sing a small verse. And it just blew my mind as I was coming into the camp of Hinzert. There's a flower in the smallest garden, reaching for the light. There's a candle in the darkest corner, conquering the night. There is amazing strength in the willing hand. There are victories that you never planned. There's a hero in everybody's heart. Between that, if I could sing it in German, I would. Over the past 5 years, my German's gotten better. I've learned that the word Brookins might mean bridge, and the word Stutz means to support. And I think the bridge and the support have found each other in this museum, with a statue outside, as it should be, for Richard, and behind the scenes, a little bronze that Harry left behind for the museum. Can you believe it? Harry, an atheist, a communist, card-carrying communist, came and found a saint here. And it's just a beautiful marriage of pushing through. Another kind of bulge, maybe. It's something that's fascinated me so much, because he really, Harry was reaching for something to the end. And I think when he chose Richard, he knew that Richard was the one who had to take it forward, because he simply didn't have the capacity to do that himself. And then the last memory before we get onto this is when you described the chocolate bar. I always tried to hold it in my head. You said, you know, these things were hard. You had to really want it to get it. You had to really gnaw at it and chip away at it. And it wasn't sweet, but those Luxembourgers, those mothers, they knew they could melt it right down and make some of the most beautiful things you've ever tasted. So if the chocolate bar is love, this is for you.
Thank you.
the moment we've been waiting for. A couple of days ago, unfortunately too late, it occurred to me, oops, I think there's one person that has to quickly be notified about this event. So I wrote a letter, and Henry, and we're a good team with Maisie right there by our side, where this caper came through. And this is an answer to the letter. And you'll know what the letter said when you hear the answer. Okay.
Bon, les Flight ist halt nicht kurz. Ich bin auf Englisch. Wir rufen wohl 3 Dich, de Grand Duc Jean gefragt, de kleine Message zu gehen. Und der Richard, den Dick, an der Woche mit Leuten von Wiltz. Den das adressiert, ich hatte den Fischpass 27. November. Du hast Stanford auf unser Brief. His Royal Highness, Grand Duc Jean, der auch ein von den Mapkämpfer war, wie die Invasion an der Normandie war, very well received your kind letter dated on November 24th, 2014, requesting a message to Richard Brookins. His Royal Highness wishes to thank you for the thoughtful season greetings you have addressed to him. His Royal Highness Grand Duc Jean is very well aware of the St. Nicolas happening in Wiltz on the 5th of December 1944 and takes today's opportunity to wish to the people of Wiltz a successful and joyful 70s revival, done enhancing by the homecoming of Mr. Richard Brookins. I remain. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, Mrs. Patton and Toby.
What a run for Duke.
Thank you. Now, nog weer mogen member van comité en nog grote sammelaar van Christzaken die nog naar een purper en nog naar een cadeau.
So, hello. I have 2 gifts to now. One gift for the Museum of Wiltz and one gift to my good friend, dear Mr. Richard Brookins. And I hope that you never forget your best driver on Jeep.
The only thing about Norbert is I don't know what rank he's going to have tomorrow. He keeps getting promoted. Great. I didn't know this was Christmas.
Skip de Jerry. De Koraten.
And we as Veterans Friends, we want to give you, I'm very honored to be able to give it to you, our Medal of Honor, where it has for all what he did, and it has in recognition of his selfless services and brave achievements during World War II. We do thank you so much, sir. And we do have a book also, which I would suggest that you read it. It's in German and in English, all true stories to it, veterans who have been here or orphans who have been here. And we are all personally in contact with those people. And when they return back home, it's always so amazing and gives me goosebumps when you see an elderly man crying when he goes back home. But I think then the circle is closed. Then the circle is closed. Thank you very much, and that's it. Thank you very much. That's our book, and it says in Luxembourgish, "Mir so merci," which means a grateful nation remembers. I bought the St. Nicolas also. Tu me please him up for it. Up that's blue instead of flowers, you know. No flowers, so the St. Nicolas. So that's it now.
That's my latest product. It's for sale.
Merci, Madame. Wir kommen also zum Schluss, aber im Ophalen wollen wir auch nach dem Tom Brockie, Dirigent von der Bibelscher, einen kleinen Kado überreichen. Und das möchte ein ganzes Mädchen Soraya. Ganz zum Schluss würde ich sagen, God bless America, God bless Mr. Richard Brookins and his family and all his fans. Thank you.
Quite an impressive event.
Thank you very much, Mr. God bless you, sir. God bless you. God bless you, too. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh,
Sie sind von der deutschen Television.
Ja, ja.